Welcome to Summarize, where every great book is transformed into powerful, clear, and easy-to-digest audio summaries. Save time, learn faster, and upgrade your mind one book at a time. This is Summarize, Wisdom Made Simple. Start with Why. How Great Leaders Inspire Everyone to Take Action book by Simon Sinek. Imagine a world where companies don't just sell products, but ignite movements that reshape industries and inspire legions of loyal followers. Where leaders don't command obedience through authority or incentives, but inspire voluntary action through a shared sense of purpose that resonates deep in the human spirit. And where success isn't measured by the fleeting highs of quarterly profits or market share, but by the enduring impact of a belief that outlasts trends, economic downturns, and even the leaders themselves. This is the visionary landscape Simon Sinek paints in his transformative 2009 book, Start with Why. How Great Leaders Inspire Everyone to Take Action. A manifesto that demystifies why some organizations and individuals achieve legendary, almost mythical status while others, despite possessing superior resources, technology, or talent, fade into the footnotes of history like forgotten footnotes in a dusty archive. Sinek, a British-American author, ethnographer, and leadership expert who honed his razor-sharp insights through years in the cutthroat world of advertising and strategic consulting, didn't stumble upon this revelation in a moment of eureka. It crystallized from his now legendary TED Talk, How Great Leaders Inspire Action, which exploded onto the global stage and has since amassed over 60 million views, making it one of the most watched talks in TED's storied history and catapulting Sinek into the pantheon of modern thought leaders alongside Malcolm Gladwell and Brené Brown. Published by Portfolio, an imprint of Penguin Group, the book has sold millions of copies across dozens of languages, influencing a diverse array of trailblazers from Fortune 500 CEOs charting corporate strategies to nonprofit activists mobilizing grassroots change, spawning sequels like Find Your Why, 2017, and The Infinite Game, 2019, and cementing Sinek's status as a contemporary sage of purpose-driven leadership in an age of disruption and disillusionment. At its beating heart is a deceptively simple, yet profoundly disruptive question. Why? Not the superficial what of your products or services, nor the mechanical how of your processes and differentiators, but the foundational why. The purpose, cause, or belief that fuels your existence beyond the banal pursuit of profit or survival. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Sinek asserts with the conviction of a prophet, a mantra that reverberates through captivating stories of Apple revolutionizing personal technology by challenging the status quo, Martin Luther King Jr. mobilizing a divided nation around a dream of equality rather than a detailed policy plan, and the Wright brothers defying the laws of gravity and the skepticism of better-funded rivals through an unshakable belief in human flight's potential to change the course of history. In an era saturated with commoditized goods, algorithmic advertising, and fleeting viral trends that evaporate like morning mist, Sinek argues that starting with why creates an unbreakable emotional bond, turning casual customers into fervent evangelists, disengaged employees into passionate advocates, and ordinary challenges into pivotal chapters in a legacy that endures long after the balance sheets have yellowed. Structured in 6 meticulously crafted parts that blend riveting storytelling, accessible biology, insightful psychology, and actionable real-world examples, the book isn't a rote step-by-step manual for managerial mechanics or a paint-by-numbers guide to corporate climbing. It's a philosophical framework for inverting the typical order of communication, from the tangible what to the inspirational why, shifting from manipulation that coerces compliance to inspiration that ignites intrinsic motivation. As Ariana Huffington praised in her endorsement, it's simple and elegant, yet profoundly insightful and effective, a sentiment echoed by countless readers who've applied its principles to revitalize stagnant careers, reinvigorate flagging teams, and rediscover personal passion in a world that often prioritizes hustle over heart. Let's journey through its illuminating pages chapter by chapter, from the stark pitfalls of assumption-driven decision-making to the empowering discovery of your own why, uncovering how starting with purpose can redefine not just businesses or brands, but the very fabric of lives lived with intention and impact. Sinek launches his inquiry in Part 1, A World That Doesn't Start With Why, a sobering exposé of the flaws riddling conventional approaches to leadership and business in a landscape littered with short-term tactics and superficial strategies. In Chapter 1, Assume You Know, he cautions against the peril of making decisions based on incomplete or biased information, a trap that ensnares even the most seasoned executives and entrepreneurs. To illustrate, Sinek contrasts the tale of Samuel Pierpont Langley, the well-connected Smithsonian secretary who in the early 1900s secured a staggering $50,000 government grant, equivalent to millions today, assembled a dream team of top engineers, and enjoyed fawning press coverage that proclaimed him the inevitable conqueror of the skies, with the underdog saga of Orville and Wilbur Wright, two bicycle mechanics from Dayton, Ohio, who operated on shoestring budgets from their modest shop, fueled by volunteer helpers and a burning passion rather than prestige or paychecks. Langley, driven by the allure of fame and fortune, he openly aimed to be rich and famous, ultimately failed, quitting aviation in humiliation after multiple crashes and wasting taxpayer dollars, his efforts forgotten like dust on a shelf. The Wright brothers, however, succeeded spectacularly on December 17, 1903, achieving the first powered, controlled flight at Kitty Hawk because their why was pure, a deep-seated belief that mastering the air would change the world for the better, opening new horizons for humanity's exploration and connection. No reporters witnessed their triumph. No fanfare followed. Yet their purpose propelled them past obstacles that felled their better-resourced rival. Sinek's point pierces like an arrow. Assumptions about what drives success, money, talent, market conditions, blind us to the deeper truth that purpose provides the unassailable clarity needed to navigate uncertainty and persevere through failure. In today's volatile markets, where startups with venture capital combust while bootstrap believers build empires, this chapter serves as a wake-up call. Question your premises or risk building on sand. Chapter 2, Carrots and Sticks, delves deeper into the dysfunctional dynamics of modern motivation, critiquing the pervasive reliance on manipulations to drive behavior in business, politics, and personal life. Sinek categorizes these tactics into carrots, incentives like price discounts, promotions and bonuses, and sticks, coercions like fear, peer pressure, and punitive measures, explaining that while they can produce short-term results, think Black Friday sales frenzies or fear-based political ads, they erode long-term loyalty and require constant escalation to maintain effect, like a drug addict chasing ever higher highs. For instance, automobile manufacturers dangle rebates and 0% financing to spike quarterly numbers, but this trains customers to become deal hunters who jump ship for the next bargain, commoditizing the brand and squeezing margins to unsustainable lows in a race to the bottom. Airlines' frequent flyer programs, once innovative loyalty builders, have devolved into addictive carrots that lock in customers through accumulated miles. But when a better program or lower fare appears, allegiance evaporates like morning dew. Sinek contrasts this manipulative mire with the magnetic pull of inspiration, where people act not because they have to, stick, or get something, carrot, but because they want to, drawn by a resonant why that aligns with their own beliefs and values. Companies like Harley-Davidson don't bribe riders with discounts. They inspire a brotherhood of freedom seekers who tattoo the logo on their skin, turning customers into lifelong ambassadors. This chapter, rich with examples from consumer goods to corporate cultures, underscores a harsh reality. In a world where information symmetry empowers buyers to shop around, manipulations breed transactions, not transformations. Only inspiration fosters the fierce fidelity that weathers economic storms and competitive assaults. Part 2. An alternative perspective shifts from diagnosis to revelation, introducing Sinek's signature framework that has become a staple in boardrooms and classrooms alike. In Chapter 3, The Golden Circle, Sinek visualizes his core concept as three concentric circles reminiscent of a target or an onion. The outer ring is what, the products or services you offer, the tangible outputs of your efforts. The middle is how, the processes, values, or differentiators that set you apart, the methods behind the madness. And the bullseye center is why, your purpose, cause, or belief. The fundamental reason your organization exists beyond making money or meeting needs. The vast majority of companies and leaders communicate from the outside in, starting with what? We make great computers. What? They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. How? One by one. This factual approach appeals to the analytical mind, but rarely stirs the soul, leading to price wars and commodity status where loyalty is as fleeting as fashion. Inspiring leaders and organizations, however, invert the order, starting with why. Apple's iconic messaging. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. Why? The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. How? We just happen to make great computers. What? One by one. Speaks directly to the heart, attracting those who share the belief in innovation and rebellion, creating a tribe that evangelizes the brand with religious zeal. Sinek's framework isn't just a communication tool. It's a diagnostic lens for organizational health, revealing why some brands like Nike endure economic recessions while others crumble. Chapter 4. This is not opinion. This is biology. Grounds the golden circle in hard science, drawing on neurobiology to explain why first communication packs such visceral punch. Sinek simplifies brain anatomy for the lay reader. The neocortex, the outer layer responsible for rational thought, language, and analytical processing, corresponds to the what level. Facts, figures, features, and benefits that inform but rarely inspire action. The limbic system, the inner brain governing emotions, behavior, trust, loyalty, and decision-making, aligns with the why and how, gut feelings and beliefs that drive us to act without always knowing the logical why. When we communicate from the outside in, we engage the neocortex, leading to informed but uninspired responses like, "That's interesting, but I need to think about it." Starting with why speaks to the limbic brain, evoking that instinctive yes or no that bypasses analysis. Think of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Have a Dream" speech on August 28, 1963, which drew 250,000 people to the National Mall not with a detailed 12-point plan for civil rights reform, but with a soaring vision of equality and justice that resonated with their deepest beliefs, compelling them to march without formal invitations or incentives. Sinek contrasts this with a hypothetical "I have a plan" speech, which might have informed minds but failed to move hearts and feet. Biology demands authenticity. Faked why triggers the neocortex's skepticism, as in corporate mission statements that ring hollow like scripted slogans. This chapter elevates the book from motivational rhetoric to scientifically backed strategy, empowering readers to craft messages that land not just in heads, but in hearts. Chapter 5. Clarity, Discipline, and Consistency delves into maintaining the golden circle's integrity amid growth's temptations. Clarity of why provides the foundation. Without it, confusion reigns, as in companies that pivot product lines without purpose, alienating core believers. Discipline and how ensures the methods align with the why, like Southwest Airlines' fun, low-cost model reflecting their why of democratizing air travel. Consistency in what reinforces authenticity. All actions must prove the why, from customer service to corporate culture. Sinek warns of drift. Volkswagen's original why of joy in driving, shown in the quirky Beetle, but dimmed in luxury Phaetons that confused the brand's identity. This chapter offers practical audits. Map your golden circle, test communications for inside-out flow, ensuring every touchpoint, from ads to employee interactions, echoes the why. Part 3. Leaders Need a Following examines inspiration's social mechanics. Chapter 6. The Emergence of Trust defines trust as the bedrock of great organizations, emerging when people share values and beliefs, not just skills or incentives. Sinek uses the military as exemplar. Soldiers bond through common purpose, risking lives for comrades because trust is the glue in chaos. In business, he profiles Continental Airlines under Gordon Bethune, who revived the flailing carrier in the 1990s by refocusing on a why of respectful, reliable service, firing toxic managers, rewarding on-time performance, and treating employees as family, which cascaded into customer loyalty and profitability. Trust can't be mandated. It's cultivated through consistent alignment with why, attracting right fit, people who amplify the mission organically. Chapter 7. How a Tipping Point Tips borrows from Malcolm Gladwell's The Tipping Point to explain the diffusion of ideas and adoption of innovations. Sinek introduces the law of diffusion of innovation, a bell curve dividing populations. Innovators, 2.5%, risk-takers embracing new ideas for the thrill. Early adopters, 13.5%, opinion leaders who see potential and spread word. Early majority, 34%, pragmatic joiners waiting for proof. Late majority, 34%, skeptics adopting when it's norm. And laggards, 16%, tradition-bound resistors. To achieve mass-market success and tip past the 15 to 18% chasm, focus on innovators and early adopters who buy into your why, not just your what. They become evangelists, crossing the gap by vouching for the belief. Sinek contrasts TiVo's failure, superior technology, what, but no compelling why, leading to niche appeal, with Apple's triumph. Their why of challenging norms attracted believers who popularized iProducts. This chapter provides a roadmap. Inspire the few to ignite the many. Part 4. How to Rally Those Who Believe offers practical guidance for applying the Golden Circle. Chapter 8. Start with why, but know how. Introduces how types, the optimists and realists who turn visionary whys into tangible realities. Sinek profiles Walt Disney, the dreamy why genius behind the Magic Kingdom, and his brother Roy, the pragmatic how master who built the business infrastructure. Leaders like Bill Gates, why? Empower through technology, needed Steve Ballmer, how? Execution, to scale Microsoft. The lesson? Visionaries need partners to ground dreams. Chapter 9. Know why. Know how. Then what? Positions the what as the tangible proof of why and how, products, services, and actions that embody the belief. Sinek emphasizes hiring at the what level with people who naturally align with the why and how, creating a culture where everyone fits. Southwest Airlines' why of democratizing travel shows in their how, fun, efficient operations, and what, low fares, no-frills flights with humorous service, turning employees into brand ambassadors. Chapter 10. Communication is not about speaking, it's about listening. Stresses that true inspiration comes from listening to your tribe. They own and evolve the message. Symbols like logos or slogans must authentically represent the why, becoming rallying points. Harley-Davidson's skull isn't about motorcycles. It's about the why of freedom and rebellion, a badge riders wear, literally, as tattoos, to signal belonging. Engage believers. They spread the why organically. Part 5. The biggest challenge is success addresses the perils of prosperity. Chapter 11. When why goes fuzzy, warns that growth can dilute purpose if leaders prioritize scale over soul. Starbucks, founded on the why of a third place for community, lost its essence in rapid expansion, leading to store closures and stock slumps until Howard Schultz returned to refocus on experience over espresso volume. Chapter 12. Split Happens, describes the split when organizations outgrow their founders, shifting from why-driven inspiration to what-focused metrics. Walmart under Sam Walton embodied the why of serving everyday people with low prices. Post-Walton, it devolved into cost-cutting controversies. Volkswagen's drivers wanted why of joyful mobility fractured in the emissions scandal, prioritizing profits over purpose. Sinek advises succession planning that passes the why torch, ensuring leaders embody the belief. Part 6. Discover why brings it home for readers. Chapter 13. The Origins of a Why. Explains that why emerges from formative experiences and values. Sinek's own why, inspiring people to do what inspires them, stemmed from a career crisis where he lost passion until rediscovering purpose. He introduces the celery test. At a party, if your why is healthy living, you'll choose celery over cookies consistently. Misaligned choices expose fuzzy purpose. Chapter 14. The New Competition reframes rivalry as internal. Your true competitor is yourself, striving to live your why better each day. When why is clear and authentic, you're incomparable. Others become irrelevant. The book concludes with an afterword urging immediate action. Start with why to lead a life of inspiration, fulfillment, and impact. Start with why transcends typical business fare. It's a philosophy for purposeful living. In 2025's uncertain landscape, amid AI disruptions and social shifts, its message endures, empowering brands like Patagonia, Environmental Why, to thrive. Discover your why, watch the world align. The power isn't in what or how, it's in why. Just listen to summarize. If you enjoyed this summary, support the channel by liking and subscribing. It helps the knowledge reach more people. Until next time, keep learning.